Hello and welcome to the 30k channel, a channel dedicated to games set in the HORUS Heresy. I'm your host, David Brains, and I'm really pleased to welcome back Pete and Dan. G'day, gents.
Hello.
How you doing?
Excellent stuff. Game 2 today, is that right?
Game 2 of the campaign, yeah.
Fantastic news. And lists have changed quite a lot since the last time we saw each other.
Yeah, quite a bit. I've gone quite experimental, really. I've literally pulled everything out of the book, out of book 7, Inferno, and
got that. A wealth of units they've released to be able to pull from as well. I mean, all the kits out, which is great. Apart from scouts, of course, but you've got some cracking little conversions.
Yeah, some really nice.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
The Osiron Dreadnought, is that right?
Yes.
Award-winning.
Yeah, this is true.
I've got a certificate. Yeah, he's not great in game, but God, he looks good.
He does look very good. Only the best for you guys.
How did you describe him earlier? He's essentially a contemptor with a loadout you wouldn't take.
Yeah, he's a contemptor with a weapons loadout I wouldn't pick, but
we'll give him a whirl.
He is great, yeah. I've used him once or twice, and he's reasonably effective. But
gone for twin carries on the other contemptor this time as well.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
always like a change.
Nice.
And Pete, there's a lot more tanks here.
Yeah, I don't like being on foot. I get shot when I'm on foot. I've gone back to using rhinos for my Grey Slayers and putting them in 10s, which I'm happier with. And then I want to make sure my assault units get there. So Terminator squads in Spartans, Death Swan and Land Raider, and a bit of nuisance fire support just to... Yeah.
Your petrol bill has gone up exponentially, I think.
Yeah, it's probably about as uneconomical as my car now. It's,
And one thing we're conscious of, though, Pete, is we don't want these vehicles getting immobilised, stranded mid-battlefield.
That's why I say it.
When you say we don't,
there's a vote. Yeah. No, that's it. No, we're going to try and do our best to avoid having 60-ton roadblocks and all the rest of it this time. And hopefully we'll get those assault vehicles up nice and sharpish and
good.
See some turn 2 assaults.
Yeah, I mean, this army is very much, it has to be aggressive. It's just got to get there, and as soon as it hits, bomb.
I think that's it. All of the Legion special rules are geared towards the assault, not combat, but the assault. All the benefits come on the charge, so the assault vehicles are a must to get that. I think that's before where I was getting hung up with Grey Slayers. I was keeping them on foot so that I didn't have to get out a Rhino and miss a turn before charging, but it just wasn't working for me. It works for some people I know. I just can make it work. My skill at playing games is only so developed. Tactically inept, I think, is the phrase. But yeah, so we'll see how the assault vehicles well. I've had a few games. They've done. The army's performed reasonably well. We'll see how it goes. You know. That's
all right. Go on.
I was going to say, with the mission we've got, we score victory points from being in the opposition.
Yeah, for having scoring units in the enemy's deployment zone. So that leaves me 3 Grey Slayer squads and 2 Terminator squads to score with.
Yeah,
so.
you're looking quite a lot more mobile than me, but I can deep strike my Terminators, and I can also with Araman as my warlord gives me 3 units to outflank.
Also, but your counter offensive is more mobile than mine. Yeah. So because you've got your skimmers, your jet bike, and your flyer, obviously, in there. And really, mine's just it's just an armoured wedge, isn't it? It's just it's proper spaceful style.
I'm looking forward to it. It feels like it's going to be quite a challenge at the moment.
Yeah, and we've got a great board to play on.
That's cool. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Well, we'll talk about the mission slightly. So we're playing a mission called A Brother's Blood.
Yep.
And that's in book 7, part of the campaign there.
Yep.
And then deployment type we're playing is Hammer and Anvil. So these guys have just got to get in each other's deployment zone. It's a complete swap as much as we can.
Yep.
Points available are Slay the Warlord. So you're looking to slay Araman, is that right?
Yep.
And Dan, you're looking to slay
Var Redblade.
Excellent news. First Blood and then Attrition.
Yeah.
So they're the points available.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, this game favours Pete quite dramatically because he's
saying things like this.
He's hammering those Terminators in those Land Raiders.
Why is it I play against? There's loads of pressure on. Yeah.
No pressure.
Yeah, no, it should be a good game. I think on paper it is in the Wolves' favour. It's about getting in that deployment zone, but you've got 2 deep striking segment Terminator squads, which whilst it might not make them that combat effective, it could win you the game because they'll collect those VPs.
Yeah, absolutely.
It means I've got to hold something back to deal with them. Maybe that's I don't really want to do that. You know, there's a bit of
a betting man would be putting their money on you right now, but it's a game of chance as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
and And Dan really does have the units to deal with these guys up close. You know, you've got your new Squaddo here with
the Blade of Coal. They're in the Land Raider.
Yeah.
And they do have quite a punch. They can churn out a lot. I think
combat wise, they're my biggest concern that I know is going to be on the board. So, I mean, you may well deploy your segment. I don't know, but I would have thought you'll probably deep strike them. So I'm less concerned about them as an initial target. But the Blade of Colt are a problem, and then of course they're in your Land Raiders. So that's going to be the hardest thing to deal with up front.
Yeah. But that Siren must be pretty good in combat, you know, with those blades.
He has a force blade, so if I'm hitting anything multi-wound, he is very effective.
You need to stick him into a character or so, don't you? And you're going to have 3 characters to choose from because it's 3k. I've got to take 1 for each 1,000 points. So, yeah.
It's good. Well, it's shaping up to be an awesome game. Really excited to see how this one unfolds. What we're going to do now, we're going to go through the lists. Once we've done that, we'll then meet you on the battlefield pre-game just to see who's going first, who's deployed first, and we'll go from there. All right, guys?
Yeah.
Great stuff.
3,000 points of Space Wolves, led by Varl Redblade, Jarl of the 4th Great Company, the Ravager, the Headsman of Koltok, with the Blooded Claw, Rite of War. Okay, HQ choices. We've got Varl Redblade, who will be the Warlord. We've got a Legion Centurion in Tartarus Terminator armour with a Chain Fist and a Combi Plasma. And we've got a Priest of Fenris, who's a Speaker of the Dead, with Ether Rune armour and a Great Frostblade. The other HQ item in there is a 7-strong Deathsworn pack with a Power Fist, who are a command squad for the Priest of Fenris. And they, as a dedicated transport, they've got a Land Raider Phobos with Armoured Ceramite, Pintle-mounted Multi-Melter, and a Dozer Blade. Troops, 3 identical squads of Grey Slayers, 10 strong, with a Power Fist, 2 power weapons, 2 combi plasmas, and 6 bolt guns. They, as a dedicated transport, all 3 squads have got a Rhino with Pintle-mounted Multi-Melter, and a Dozer Blade. Elites, 2 identical squads of Legion Terminators in Tartarus armour, 3 Lightning Claws, 2 Chain Fists, Heavy Flamer. As a dedicated transport, both squads have a Spartan Assault Tank with Armoured Ceramite and a Dozer Blade. Heavy support, first one, Sakaran Battle Tank with Heavy Bolter Sponsons and Armoured Ceramite. Second is Predator with Heavy Bolter Sponsons.
Here's my 3,000 points of Thousand Suns. Led by Azek Araman, Chief Librarian of the Thousand Suns, Archmagister of the Corvidae, the Enduring Sun, using the Guard of the Crimson King Rite of War. HQ is Azek Araman. He is joined by a Sekhmet Terminator squad. They are loaded out with Force Axes, and 1 has a Chain Fist. My next HQ is the Osiron Dreadnought. He is loaded out with a Twin Link Volkite Culverin. He comes equipped with a Force Sword, which is counted as Strength 10 AP2. There's a little bit of ambiguity about where he fits in the list. He's listed as a HQ to start with, but many people have argued that he is actually an elite. But I have put him into a HQ slot. My first elite choice is a Contemptor Mortis Dreadnought, and he's equipped with 2 Carey's Pattern Assault Cannons. My next elite choice is the Kenetai Blade Occult Cabal. These are all loaded out with twin Force Swords, and they have a Land Raider Phobos as a dedicated transport. My troops choices, with my Rite of War, and Sekhmet are my compulsory troop choices. So for my second Terminator Sekhmet squad, they're loaded out with Tartarus armour, and they have 4 swords, and the Sergeant has a Chain Fist. My next troop choice, I've got 2 identical tactical squads. They are loaded out with Vexillas, and the Sergeant has a Power Fist. One of them also has a Rhino with a Multi-Melter and Dozer Blade. My next troops choice is a tactical support squad. I've loaded these out with rotor cannons. I know these are not a very popular choice, but with them being Thousand Suns, I can give them Aspect Shells, which grants them Shred, which makes them a lot more viable. My first fast attack slot is filled by my Amitara Occult Intercession Cabal. My first fast attack choice are the Amitara Occult Intercession Cabal. These are all loaded out with sniper rifles. My second fast attack choice is the Primaris Lightning Strike Fighter. I've loaded this out with 4 of the Kraken Penetrator missiles and 2 of the Sun Fury missiles. It's also got the ground tracking auguries and the battle servitor control. My first heavy support choice, I've got the Legion Jetbike Sky Slayer support squadron. These are just loaded with the multi-melters. My next heavy support choice are the Castellax Akia battle maniple. These are just loaded out with the Mauler pattern bolt cannons. My final heavy support choice is a Legion Vindicator. This is loaded out with a laser destroyer array.
Here we are, gents. We've deployed. We're all ready to go, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Now, as per the mission special rules, Space Wolves are going first, and Thousand Suns cannot seize. Is that correct?
Unfortunately not, no.
That's it. We rolled off to see who would go first, maybe, and Space Wolves won it, so that's all good.
Hopefully that's the only thing they're going to win today.
We'll see. I think it's time for a bit of retribution, but we'll see how it goes.
But Pete, you've shot your guys forward.
Yeah.
Scout move.
Scouted, Val Redblade the Warlord gives scout to 3 infantry units, which then confers to their dedicated transports. So, with Death Sworn in the Land Raider and a Terminator squad in a Spartan, gone forward 12 inches straight off on the scout move, and then held a Grey Slayer squad in their Rhino in reserve. So they'll get outflanked from that. Could be useful for picking up those VPs at the end of the game, making sure they get up that table kind of thing. So.
Yeah. Araman also confers the same Warlord trait. I can give scout to 3 of my troops units.
Mm-hmm.
I've kept my tactical squads and my segment are going to deep strike in. So I'm hoping to infiltrate with the tactical squads and deep strike the segment. Obviously, I want to be up in the scoring zone. I need to try and deny Pete as much. So I have kept quite a bit back to try and do that. I did have one squad that could infiltrate, which is my scouts. They've popped up there, but I don't think they're going to be doing too much up there. I'm not really going to be poking holes in a Spartan, but...
What strength are they on the shot?
4.
Okay.
They are rending, but I still...
Okay. No, you can be hurting rhinos with them?
Yeah, they're up there, really. They're just... I'm hoping... It's going to be a difficult place for him to charge. I'm hoping they can just sit up there taking pot shots when his infantry finally do emerge.
Won't be long.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
Great stuff. So we're all ready to go. Gents, let's have a friendly handshake.
And that was firm. He means business today. I think I'm going to have to put my...
Our Stone Cold Sabre last night. This is going to be great. Yeah.
He's prepared. He's been in training camp for weeks.
It's been like an 80s montage the last 3 weeks of my life. It's been great.
Good stuff. All right, we'll go straight into Space Wolves turn 1.
I'm looking forward to this.
Space Wolves turn 1 movement, and we've got right in the Thousand Suns face. So, with the benefit of the scout move and then being able to move further, the Spartan on the flank has moved right up, so it's right on the Thousand Suns deployment zone. Sakaran's moved round, essentially just to open up some targets, maybe the scouts, maybe have some shots at anything else in the infield we can see. And then the Phobos of the Death Sworn on the near side has moved right up, got right in the face of the robots and the rotor cannon squad on the building. And then in the middle, the Rhinos are following up that Spartan, using it as a bit of cover and a bit of support. And the Predator moving up behind them. Hopefully going to get some shots onto the scouts with that, see if we can do some damage there. Space Wolves turn 1 shooting, starting with the Spartan on the flank. Going to go full bore with both quad las cannons into the Vindicator laser destroyer in front of them. Because of the crate, Dan's going to get different cover, or Thousand Suns going to get different cover save from each sponson weapon. So the ones on the right of the Spartan, he'll get a 4 up and then a 3 up from the ones on the left. So starting with the ones on the right, it's 2 shots, twin linked, and it will be 3s to hit. 2 hits, and then it will be their strength 9, front armor 13. So it will be 4s for a glance, 5 for a pen. Brilliant. Starters mean to go on. And then second quad as cannon then will be 3s to hit. 2 hits. And then same drill. So that's 1 pen.
Right, and this is the side with the 3 up save.
Correct.
I'll take that to 6.
Absolutely smashed it. Right. Weathered that rather well. Sakaran's up next, targeting the scouts in the building. So going with the accelerator cannon to begin with, we're going to be 3s to hit. So that's and it's twin linked.
So that's 6 hits. And then we're going to be strength 7 your toughness 4, so 2s. 2s to wound. 5 wounds, pretty happy with that.
So that's 5 save. We agreed on this building being treated as a ruin before, so we gave it a 4-up cover save. The scouts do have stealth, so we have that, which is +1 to their cover save, so I need 3s to save. And I lose 1 guy.
And then all 3 heavy bolters, because of how far it moved, these are snapshots. So 6s to hit. 1. 1 wound.
Again, because my cover save, that's a 3-up, so hopefully I don't lose another guy. Perfect, made that.
So just 1 dead. Predator tank fired at the same target. Autocannon did well with Dan strip cover save, which is a pain. It's managed to take one of them off, which is forced a leadership test. Sadly, the heavy bolters didn't do anything, didn't hit on snapshot. So that'll be a leadership test, Dan. What's your leadership?
Right, I'm leadership 9, so hopefully this will, which I then proceed to fail. So I'm going to be running. Let's see how far back. We said this was 6 inches down earlier, so that 9 inches. So I'm going to be off the back and 3 inches away.
Running away from those walls. The Land Raider Phobos is going to get ready to fire. It's going to fire the right las cannon on a snapshot at the Castellax in front of it, and the multi-melter will be its weapon at full ballistic skill. Snapshot the heavy bolters in the hull at the same target, and then we're going to use Power of the Machine Spirit to fire the left twin-link las cannon at the Contemptor at full ballistic skill. So let's start with the multi-melter at full ballistic skill. So 3s to hit. Miss. Oh, it's typical, isn't it? They just don't hit. Then the twin-link las cannon. So snapshots only 6, but it's twin-linked. Nope, no joy. And then the heavy bolter into the same target. 6s, twin-linked. Come on. No hits at all. Ah, I'm going to have to get better dice, I think. Pretty pleased with that, Dan?
Yeah, I'm unclenched slightly.
Right, and then twin link las cannon into the Contemptor. So this will be 3s to hit because of Power of the Machine Spirit. That's a hit. And then it's strength 9, and your side armor is
At 12.
So 3s for a glance, 4 for a pen. That's a pen.
Right, now I have a 5-up invuln, so I'm hoping to. Oh,
Absolutely smashes it.
Woo.
Weathering the storm.
Yeah, well, at the moment.
The Spartan in the middle is going to target the Contemptor with both quad las cannons. One of them using Power of the Machine Spirit will be a full ballistic skill, the other one will be snapshots. So first las cannon then, 3s to hit. 2 hits. Strength 9, front armor.
13.
So 4s and 5s. And that's 1 glance.
Right, can I make another 5-up save, or have I used all my luck? No, so that is a glance. He loses a whole point.
And then we'll snapshot the other las cannon at him. So 6s. It's 1 and it's twin linked, so still only 1. And then we want 4s and 5s again. That's a 3. Oh, it's disappointing. It would have been nice to pip another one off it. Still, that's a whole point. It's almost respectable.
I'll take that.
We'll move on to the Rhino next with a multi-melter. This will be a snapshot with how far it's moved, but at the same target, so it'll be a 3 to hit.
Snapshot.
Oh, 6 to hit, sorry, so it's failed. Yeah, my bad. Despite the optimistic dice, that's not gone quite so well as we'd have liked. Space Wolves turn 1 summary then. Because a scout, nothing's going to be charging this turn, but everything's got up, got in the face, put some shots off, knocked a whole point off a Contemptor, smashed the scouts out of that building, and they're running away a little bit. Maybe not quite as effective as the shooting round could have been, but considering we're right up on the deployment zone, I'm quite happy with that. Space Wolves turn 1 summary then. There'll be no assault phase because the things that I want to assault with have scouted, so they can't do that in the first turn. We've got right up in the Thousand Suns face. We're there, we're ready to go. Maybe the shooting wasn't quite as effective as it could have been. It would have been nice to have done a bit more damage, but we've made the scouts run away. They've got down at that building and they're retreating, and we've grazed the whole point off of the Contemptor. The Rhino in the middle with no viable targets popped smoke. A little bit nervous about that laser destroyer, so decided to go against moving up a further 6 inches. But yeah, I think that's good. You've weathered the storm there, Dan, really.
I think I've got away with that one in the shooting phase. I know you are right on top of me, and it's the next turn I think is going to be a lot more important, but no, I'm quite happy with how that's went from a Thousand Sun perspective. Thousand Suns, turn 1 movement. I've not moved a great deal. I've moved my Osiron towards the Spartan, which may be a silly idea, but I can see a nice long charge there. I've managed to regroup my scouts. They've moved their 3 inches, well, hid their 3 inches, I think. Well, not fantastically well. Move my Land Raider over a little bit just to open up firing options, so I've got more than one thing to shoot at. Move my jet bikes over. They have flown over a little bit just to give them a few more options as well. I've unfortunately still got a lot of firepower coming my way. I have moved the Castellax forward. They're hopefully going to make the charge. And my Contemptor's moved over a little bit again to open up his firing options. I need to see which way I'm going. I kept the rotor cannons nice and still because they don't really have anything they can hurt at the moment. So I'm going to move on to the Psychic phase and see what we can do there. Thousand Suns Psychic phase. The only power I could really use, I was going to try and cast Invisibility on my jet bikes, but unfortunately I didn't get enough Warp Charge. It's Warp Charge 2, so that was that. And then I just got rid of the rest of my dice. There's not anything I can do whilst everything's still in vehicles at the moment. I've only got 2 Psychic units on the board, and one of those is in a transport. So the next Psychic phase will probably be where it sort of comes to the fore, hopefully. Thousand Suns shooting, turn 1. My first thing I'm going to shoot is the Vindicator. I'm going to shoot that at the Spartan just in front now. I'm going to overcharge this so it gets the 3 shots. At the end of the shooting phase, I roll to see if I lose a whole point, but this is twin linked, so hitting on 3s. That's 2 hits so far. Twin linked, 1 more. Nope, that misses, so it's just the 2 hits. This is Strength 9 Ordnance, so it's 2d6 and pick the highest. Strength 9 against Armour 14, so it's 5s to glance. That's 1 pen. Second one, again 5s to glance. That's 2 pens. That's AP1, so I'm going to roll 2 dice on the damage table. This is AP1, so it's +2. That's 2 4s, so that's 2 shaken. So it's 2 whole points and cannot move and snapshot. Unless you have extra armour.
No, that's it. That's the beastie.
Right, well, that's 2 whole points, and I suppose that's nobbled that a little bit. Not quite as successful as I'd hoped. I've just fired my Land Raider, both las cannons. I fired one at the first Spartan that I'd shot at. Managed to glance a whole point off that. So that's 1 more down. That's quite good. Fired the other one at the other Spartan behind the barricade, but unfortunately I didn't manage to make any damage there. But yeah, not bad. Taking another whole point off that Spartan. That's really stripped it down, but I think he's going to be out that next turn anyway. I was kind of hoping to explode it, but we'll move on to the rest of the shooting. Right, I'm going to shoot my jet bikes into the Rhino in front. Only one's within 12 inches, so only one of them gets armor bane, so I'm going to roll that separately. I'm going to roll him first. So let's see if he hits. Nope, he's a miss. I do have the other 2, so let's roll those and hopefully we can get hits with those. That's 2 hits. Now this is Strength 8. I don't get the 2d6 against armor 11, so it's 3s to glance, 4s to pen. 2 pen. Right, this is AP1, so nice high dice roll, and that will explode. Ah, yes, that's lovely.
It's gone boom.
The Space Wolves Rhino exploded after being shot at from the jet bikes. I managed to actually kill 2 in the ensuing explosion. Pete failed 2 of his saves, which left my carries free to shoot at the Land Raider. Unfortunately, didn't take any whole points off of it. All my other weapons at this point either can't see or can't damage anything within their range, so I think that's the end of my shooting phase. We're going to move on to assaults. Thousand Suns assault phase, turn 1. I'm going to try and charge my Siren into this Spartan down here. We've measured it and it's a 10-inch range. I'm hoping to make it. We do have fleet as well, being a Contemptor, so let's see if we can make this charge. Oh, 9, but with fleet I can re-roll 1, so I need at least a 4. Oh, 10 inches, he's in. Lovely. Right, made it into combat with my Siren Dreadnought into the Spartan. Unfortunately, Hammer Raff isn't strong enough. I'm only base strength 7. I get 3 attacks as standard, 1 extra for charging. His weapon is a Force Sword, but it counts as ×2 strength and goes at AP2. So I need 3s to hit, and I will need... So that's 3 hits. I'm now at strength 10. I need 4s to glance, 5s to pen. Oh, 1 glance.
One more whole point on Spartan.
My 2 Castellax managed to charge the Land Raider. We get 2 attacks as standard. We have a close combat, 2 close combat weapons, so that's another one, and we also get rage, so that's another +2 on the charge. So they get 5 attacks at each. We're rolling these. We need 3s to hit. That's pretty good. All but 2 have hit. Now with this weapon, it's still a little bit ambiguous. The rules are a little bit messed up because there isn't actually a listing for a power claw. People have claimed that they've spoke to Alan and he had said that they're just counted as power fists. The community seems to be playing it that way. We have previously agreed. We've
agreed we'll play them as power fists. That's how we played them in the first game.
So we're sticking with that until it's been FAQ'd. So at strength 10, we need 4s to glance. Oh, that wasn't so good. That is 1 pen.
1 pen. See what it does?
It's going at AP2, so hopefully we can actually get a nice high dice roll. 2. So that's down to 3. So that's shaken. So it's just snapshots next turn and a whole point. Quick overview of the Thousand Suns turn 1. I was kind of hoping to have maybe destroyed one of these Land Raiders or the Spartan. The Land Raider particularly, I thought that was a definite one. I have dropped one of his tactical squads a bit further out from the scoring zone, so that's not too bad. And there is 4 whole points gone off this Spartan, but I think it's where he wants it to be now, so I was kind of hoping to have troops out in the open that I could really take advantage of. But yeah, all in all, not a bad turn, especially with the little amount of casualties I took, so it's not been it's not been too dramatic so far, but I think yeah, next turn should be quite interesting.
I think it's about to get bloody. Space Wolves turn 2 movement. Rhinos zip around the rock there, getting out of the line of sight of the Vindicator laser destroyer, just trying to use the terrain and the other tanks as a bit of cover, get those scoring units up. Sakara and the Predator have got themselves positioned, so they've got some shots on the jet bikes. The Spartan over here with Var Red Blade in it is can't move and can only snapshot, so that's stuck where it is at the minute. Val and his Terminator squad have got out, so we can deal with that Contemptor. The other Spartans got stuck in, disgorged its the Centurion and its Tartarus squad. They're getting ready to take on those robots, hopefully, or maybe the Caries Contemptor, depending on how things go. Deathsworn have got out of the Land Raider, and the Land Raider's pivoted a bit to open up its firing arcs. The Grey Slayers just behind that have moved up a little bit. Sadly, the reserve rolls weren't successful, so they've not arrived. I think that's a pretty respectable turn 2 position to be in, and we'll see where we go from there. Space Wolves turn 2 shooting phase. The Sakaran and the Predator have both unloaded full bore with all the weapons that can see into those jet bikes. That 2-up save, even not being a jink, is formidable, I think. And they've got quite.
You did rend with one of them, didn't you?
Oh, that's true. Yes, that's the one that's gone. But then the other 2 are still there. But it's forced leadership test. I'm not sure I'm done shooting at them, so Dan's not doing the morale yet. Spartan snapshotted with its right sponsor and into the Siron Contemptor right in front of it, and just grazed a whole point off, which isn't a bad result considering the state the Spartan's in at the minute. That's good. The Land Raider Phobos is going to fire everything snapshot at the Castellax in front of it, and then use Power of the Machine Spirit to fire the Multi-Melter on top at full bore. So we'll start with that. So 3s to hit with the Multi-Melter. That's a miss. 2 Twin Ink Las Cannons. These will be 6 to hit. Multi-Melters never hit. Reroll. Nope, no joy. And then the Heavy Bolter. 6 is to hit. Twin Linked again. No joy. So no, that's done nothing. That's great.
They're targeting servitors.
Yeah, very shaken. A little tweak and adjustment on this Spartan and the Terminator squad. Got a bit carried away. They moved a little bit far. So they've just been nudged back 2 inches just to tidy that up and make it rules compliant. The Spartan now is going to engage the Castellax. So we're firing one of the quad las cannons at full ballistic skill because it's only moved up 6. We're firing the other one with Power of the Machine Spirit, so it's the same output, full ballistic skill. So that's 4 las cannon shots, and it will be 3s to hit. Twin linked. So that's 3 hits. And it will be strength 9, toughness 6, so it will be
7, toughness 7.
Toughness 7.
I think it's still 2s.
2s to wound. So that's 2 wounds, and that's
I get 5 up invuns.
Yeah, because AP2, yeah.
That's 1 made, so I lose a wound because it's not double my toughness, so it's not instant death, which is
Yep.
nice.
And then we'll snapshot the heavy bolter at the same. So this will be 6s to hit. Twin linked. So that's 2. Oh, it's cock dice. Oh, it's 3. And then
Just keep rolling.
it's going to be strength 5, toughness 7, so it's going to be 6s. No, no joy.
I thought that's what was going to do the damage.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to lose 3 wounds and die.
Okay, a bit more firing at the Castellax then. The Terminators and the Deathsworn have both put all the fire they can into them. Still, the Castellax have only taken 2 wounds in total. We'll get ready for some charges. That's a bit of charging over here, and we'll get File Red Blade and his squad into that siren on the far side of the board. Space Wolves turn to assault phase. File Red Blade, the Warlord's got highest initiative here, and his Axe Hearth Splitter strikes initiative is +2 strength and Armor Bane. So he is going to, he's +1 weapon skill on the charge as well because of the army rule. So he is going to be 3s to hit. Oh, that's disappointing. No rerolls of any kind in there either. So two attacks gone through. These are Armor Bane. He's strength 6, so these are going to be 7s to glance, 8s to pen. 2d6 each. So first one is no joy, and the second one is a pen.
Right, I still get my 6-up save.
6 up in Van.
No, so that's gone through.
Let's see what it does. 5, 6. So that's AP2, so it's a 6.
It's immobilised. My turn to attack back. I've lost an attack from being immobilised. So that's 2 attacks. I need 4s to hit because of the higher weapon skill. And that's nothing, unfortunately.
So 2 chain fists in that pack too. So +1 for charging on each, so 3 attacks apiece. These are going to be 4s to hit. It's not a bad tally. 4 attacks go through. So Armor Bane, 2d6, and it's going to be 5 for a glance, 6 for a pen. So first one, nothing. Second, nothing. Third one, pen. And fourth one, pen. So 2 pens, please, Dan.
Double 6 coming up, no problem. No, he's gone. Roll to see if it's AP2, is it?
Yeah, that's correct. So let's see if he see what.
It was 2 went through. So
Sorry, beg your pardon. Yeah. So no, he's not exploded. Combat over here then. Let's see if we can wipe these pesky robots off the board. We've got 3 Tartarus Terminators with lightning claws that are striking at the same initiative as the Castellax. Their weapon skill 5, Castellax weapon skill 3. So we're going to be 3s to hit, 9 dice, and that's not too bad. Only 2 didn't go through, and then we're going to be strength 4 in your toughness 7. So we're going to be 6s to wound. But I've got shred for the reroll. So 6s. That's 1. Let's reroll those others. And 3 go through. 4 go through in total.
unfortunately, with the lightning claws being AP3, I'm straight up to my 5+ refractor field save. So hopefully this won't kill one of them off. So that's 4 wounds, unfortunately, taken. So I've lost a complete guy there. Right, now my Castellats are going to hit back. I'm going to hit against the Tartarus. I still get my attacks because it is the same initiative as what Pete has hit me. So I need 4s because I'm a lower weapon skill to hit. Oh, that's not so good. That's 2 hits. And I need 2s to push them straight to their end one. So that's 2.
It's 2 onto their invuln, so we've got the
2 AP2 wounds.
Yeah, so the 5 up save on the Tartarus Terminators. 1 made, one down. No worries. Combat went really well for the Space Wolves there. Chain Fist knocking a couple more off, and the Power Fist in the Death Swarm being the final blow, took that last Castellax out. Neither of them exploded, thankfully. We've done our consolidation, and now we've got to weather an absolute hellstorm of fire, I imagine, on the next turn.
Thousand Suns turn to movement. Rolled for my reserves. I had 2 tack squads come on. One were in a rhino and one on foot. Rolled for my outflank. I've come in over there, looking to try and pick that Grey Slayer squad off. Also rolled for my lightning, which has come in. I've brought it in right in the corner here, so that gives me quite a reasonable line of sight to most of the stuff around the board. I kept my Vindicator where he is. I moved my Land Raider up and got my Bladed Colt have come out the front there, hoping to get a charge. I also moved my jet bikes just back a little bit and my Contemptor back, so we can get some shots down on the guys there, trying to thin his scoring units down a bit. Also, 2 of my rotor cannons moved. I moved 2 of the guys just so that they can get a bead down onto them Terminators as well. I'm going to try and throw quite a lot of firepower at them if I can. And yeah, that's my movement phase. 1000 Suns turn 2 shooting. We had the psychic phase, but I only really went to try to cast 1 power of warp speed on them, but unfortunately it didn't come off. I really would have liked that one. So we've moved straight onto the shooting. The first thing I'm going to shoot is the multi-melter off my Tac Squad's Rhino that's come on into the side of Pete's Rhino. So I'm feeling confident. No, typical thing. So unfortunately that's kind of left the other guys. I'm hoping some of the other ones can maybe get a shot at the back armour of that Rhino, but I need to check the angles first, really. Next to shoot is the Lightning. I'm firing 2 of its Kraken Penetrator missiles at the side of the Sicaran. This is quite a powerful missile, so I'm hoping. I do have ground tracking auguries as well, which gives me strafing run, so it's 2s to hit. So we're going to roll for 2 missiles. Oh, 1 misses. Now this is Armour Bane. It's strength 8, but I also have Tank Hunter as well. So side armour is 12, I believe. Yeah. So it's 4, but I can re-roll. So that's 1 pen. Now this is AP1. So let's see how much damage it does. 5 AP1 plus 2. That explodes. Which is a fantastic result for me. Fortunately or unfortunately, whichever way you look at it, Pete doesn't get a cover save, so that's destroyed. That's
this car and gone.
Perfect start for the Lightning. Next to shoot is my Vindicator with a laser destroyer. I'm going to overcharge again, and I'm going to shoot at the Predator. This is twin linked, so 3s to hit. I'm going to re-roll that one. Oh, I shouldn't have rolled that one. Right, this is strength 9. Ordnance. So the side armour on the Pred is 12.
Correct.
So there we go. So that's up to 13. So that's 1 pen. 2 pen. There is an intervening model, so he does get a 5-up cover save.
So 2 5-up cover saves coming up, no problem. Nope, both gone through. 2 pens.
This is AP1. So let's see what this does on the damage chart. 2 6s, so 2 immobilised, I believe, and a duplicated immobilised is another whole point, so that's 3 whole points.
That's it, gone.
That was a great result. Because we fired the overcharged version, I do need to roll. On a 1, I lose a whole point. No, fantastic. Next to shoot, I'm going to shoot my Land Raider towards the Spartan. He's only on 1 whole point left, so I'm hoping to just skim one off. One of the las cannons goes through intervening models, so we're going to do that one first, so Pete gets a cover save for that. So it's 3 to hit, which it hits. Strength 9, armour 14, so we need a 5 to glance. That's a glance, but Pete does get his cover save.
So 5-up cover save, no worries. No, not a chance.
Well, that's 3 for 3 at the moment. I'm feeling quite happy with that. Combined firepower from my rotor cannon squad, my jet bikes, and also my Amatara scouts into the Terminator squad. We've thinned them down to just 2. My Contemptor with the twin carries shot into the Death Sworn, unfortunately only killing 1. But all in all, I think we can say that's probably quite a successful shooting phase. We're moving on to the assault. 1000 Suns turn 2 assault phase. I charged the Bladed Colt into the Space Wolves HQ and Tartarus squads. I unfortunately lost one due to Overwatch. I rolled a 7, so I got well in. Pete, Haval Redblade, the HQ for the Space Wolves, does get to attack first. He's got higher initiative, so Pete's going to roll those now.
We're matched weapon skill, so he's going to be 4s to hit. That's 4 hits.
Uh-oh.
And then he's going to be 2s to kill. So that's 3, please. AP2. Because Father Blade causes fear, and unfortunately 1000 Suns failed their fear test, that puts 1000 Suns at weapon skill 1 for this combat.
Yeah, which unfortunately means it's 5s to hit. Now I'm down to 6 guys. I get +1 weapon skill generally, and then +1 attack. So I'm just getting my 1 attack. 1 extra attack instead of the 2 if I'd been at full strength. These are 5s to hit, and I've still got 19 attacks, so unfortunately I've got no rerolls or anything. Yep, that could have gone a lot better. We got 5 hits, so we need 4s to wound. The AP3, unfortunately, against the 2s, but oh, that's not bad. 4 normal wounds.
So then 4 2-up saves on the Terminators. All made. Okay, so Lightning Claws in the Space Wolf squad. We've got 3 of these guys. Because of counter-attack, they're 3 attacks apiece. They are weapon skill 4 and your weapon skill 5.
Well, now I'm down to weapon skill 1 because of failing my fear
Of course
test.
you are, sorry. So I'm going to be 3s to hit. So 3s to hit. No re-rolls. Oh, preferred enemy infantry because of our red blade, so re-roll on that. So that's all hit. And then they are going to be 4s to kill with a re-roll because of shred. So 4s to kill, that's not so good, but the re-roll will hopefully help us out. I want to see 3 more dice there. So that's, yeah, that's excellent. That's 3, 6, 7 kills from that. That's fantastic. Didn't even need the chain fists in the squad, so they've really held their own there. Counter-attack, I think those extra dice giving them the buff, but really the fear from Far Red Blade there, just showing how brutal that can be on a unit. So that's fantastic. Space Wolves will wipe that squad of Blade Occult. So we're on to the consolidation now because of the Space Wolves rule. This is a +1, so that's a 2-inch consolidation. So we'll get them shuffled up. Space Wolves turn 3 movement. The Spartan and the Land Raider in sort of the midfield have wriggled forward a bit, getting some line of sight on that 1,000 Suns Land Raider on the pad. See if we can do something about that, get that out of the way. The Grey Slayers run up over that difficult terrain, or moved up over that difficult terrain. They've still got potentially a run move and then a charge, which is great. The Tartarus Terminator and the Centurion are moved up, got their eyes set on that Contemptor. Let's see if we can do some damage with them. It's quite a long distance charge they've got. So have the Deathsworn, who are going to look to go up and get into that Rotor squad above and deal with them. But we're using Howl of the Deathwolf from the Rite of War this turn, so that allows me to re-roll any run and charge distances, which is great. Reserves have arrived, so there's a Grey Slayer, cheeky Grey Slayer squad arrived in their Rhino. They've just come in through the through that industrial terrain there, which puts a multi-melter in a nice place, to be honest, which is quite cool. And Val Redblade and his Terminator squad, after those unlucky 1,000 Suns Blade Occult bounced off them, are going to move up and deal with that Laser Destroyer before it does too much more damage. Not that I think it can see much more armour on that side of the board anyway. It's been a bit of a brutal unit, that one, but let's see if we can take that out. And that will, with a bit of luck, and maybe if I can get some spare shots in to deal with the jet bikes, although I think that might be pushing it, I can pretty much secure this end of the board, I think, largely ignoring the flyer at the minute, because I've not really got a good riposte to that, but we'll see how it goes. Space Wolves turn 3 shooting phase. First shot of the phase was the multi-melter off the Rhino that's moving up that flank, back into the 1,000 Suns Rhino. Really lucky shot, got an explode result. The explosion killed one of the guys in the squad next to it, and has managed to get 4 wounds that really unfortunately, 5 wounds, sorry, that really unfortunately Dan has failed to save on the squad inside. So that's 5 tactical marines dead out that squad. Absolutely brutal for the first shot of the game. Next up, we got the multi-melter off the other Rhino. Let's sort of hope for a similar result. We're gonna have a shot at the Contemptor. So we're gonna be 3s to hit with that multi-melter. That's a hit, and it's 2d6. So let's see what we can do. And that's a pen. Dan gets his save. 1,000 Suns. Oh, made his 5-up save. Nicely done. Okay, third unit to fire then is going to be the Spartan. It's got line of sight on the Land Raider. We've got 1 quad lance cannon at full ballistic skill and 1 with power on the machine spirit. So we're going to be 3s to hit, 4 shots. Twin linked. That's 4 hits. And then we're going to be 5s for a glance, 6 for a pen. So what we can do, that's 2 glances.
No saves on that, so that's 2 whole points.
Land Raider Proteus at the same target. Let's go, or Phobos, sorry, at the same target. Let's go for the 1,000 Suns Land Raider. Same drill. It will be both the sponsors firing at full ballistic skill. One for the allowance and one for power and machine spirit. So 2 shots, 3s to hit. Twin linked. 2 hits And then we're looking for 5s and 6s again. That's 1 pen. Let's see what it does. It's a 4, so that's 5. Weapon destroyed. So that's 3 hull points off it in total so far, and we've got a weapon destroyed on the near las cannon. We're going to snapshot the multi-melter from the same Land Raider at it, so 6 to hit. Ah, it's a miss. Pretty good shooting phase there for turn 3 of the Space Wolves. Grey Slayer squad used it to run to get on top of those scouts, which is great because they can run and charge, which makes them pretty mobile across the board in that scenario. Death Swarm put some bolt pistol shots into the rotor cannon squad, which they're going to charge in a second. No damage there, unfortunately. So we're getting those charges lined up. Let's see what the army can do. Space Wolves turn 3 assault phase then. File Red Blade and his Tartarus Terminator squad have smashed through that Vindicator laser destroyer. I suppose a bit predictable for the amount of Chain Fist and Armor Bane attacks in there, but still a great result. Which brings us over to the Centurion and his Tartarus squad getting stuck in on that Contemptor, and the Contemptor has initiative, so he gets to go first.
Right, he has 3 attacks as standard, so these will be 4s to hit. So that's 2 hits. And 2s to wound at strength 7. That's no wounds.
So Centurion then on the charge of +1 weapon skill as per the Legion rule. So he's going in with 3s to hit, 4 attacks. So 3s to hit, that's 3 hits. And then these are Armor Bane, so 1 at a time. That's 1 pen. 2 pens. 3 pens. Now, Thousand Suns Contemptor gets saves against this in combat.
666, here we come. No problem.
Nice.
1, so that's 2. He's already lost a whole point, so that's him wrecked.
So let's roll for the result and see if either of those 2 pens explode. And neither do, with it only being AP2. Speaker of the Dead and his Death Sworn pack are getting stuck into the rotor cannons then, but the rotor cannons do in fact have initiative, so they get to go first. So all yours, Dan.
My Tactical Support Squad, they just get 1 attack each, hitting on 4s. That's not bad. 3 hits. They are toughness 4, I believe.
Correct.
So 4s to wound. And no wounds. This combat phase is not going great for me, I'll be honest.
Speaker of the Dead then at initiative step 3 with his Great Frostblade. He's 3 attack space, 4 for charging, and a 5th for being in base contact with multiple models. He has it's a mastercrafted weapon and he has preferred enemy, so this is going to be hopefully pretty tasty. It's an AP2 weapon, so 3s to hit. Mastercrafted, so I reroll 1, and preferred enemy, so I can reroll that one. So we have got 4 hits, and then he is going to be 3s to kill, and these are AP2. So that's 3 dead from that. Death Swarm pack then, we've got 4 with power axes, so they're going to be 4 attacks on the charge, so +1 close combat weapons, +1 for charging. They're +1 weapon skill on the charge, so they're going to be 3s to hit. So that's 16 in. We're preferred enemy, so I get to reroll 1s. So we know we've got 2 misses in there, and then 3 more misses. So that is going to be 11 hits. And then we're going to be 3s to kill, because these are AP2. So that will be 8 wounds at AP2, wiping that squad out. A fantastic result for them. And then they are going to consolidate 4, because it's always +1 for the Space Wolves. Turn 3 for the Space Wolves then. What a fantastic turn. Really pulling that around there. The multi-melter on the Rhino, popping the Thousand Suns Rhino and doing an extraordinary amount of damage. That was great. The Centurion and the Tartarus Terminator getting in and dealing with that Contemptor is fantastic. Those carries were seriously worrying me. And then the Death Sworn there, I mean, they got absolutely hamstrung last game, bottleneck, didn't get anywhere. They've just ripped that Rotor Cannon squad. Maybe not the biggest combat enemies, but fantastic. Grey Slayers in the middle, wipe those scouts out, another point through attrition, and then Violent Redblade and his squad taking around that Laser Destroyer. Really, the Flyer's going to move off. That leaves me the Land Raider and the 2 jet bikes in the Thousand Suns deployment zone to deal with at the moment.
Thousand Suns turn 3 movement. Both of my reserves have come in. I've got Araman with his Sekhmet unit. They had a minimal scatter, but still managed to stay safe. The second unit, I tried to hit it dead on the dot, and thankfully rolled a hit. My choices were, these are scoring units, so I could have gone up the other end of the board, but with the amount of scoring units Pete's got, and that I have, I still would have lost. So really, I'm much better off trying to deny him scoring more than me scoring. I've still got 2 units up the top there that are scoring. They have just moved back towards cover. That is 2 separate units, but we've moved them up, trying to put them into cover, trying to keep them safe so that they can keep on scoring. And we've moved the lightning across. That's going to try and get some fire down onto the Grey Slayer squad below. Manoeuvred the Land Raider round. He's gone 12, but because of power of the machine spirit, he's going to have a shot over there. My 2 jet bikes have moved back, trying to put some firepower onto them Terminators there, because one of those guys is a scoring unit. So I do need to try and get them thinned down. I'm going to try and ignore the Death Sworn up there because they're very tough, and I don't really want to particularly have to deal with them in combat or anything like that. So yeah, going to see how this turn goes. I got a bit of a paste in last time, so hopefully going to turn it back round again. Turn 3 psychic phase for the Thousand Suns. Ahriman's tried to cast 3 powers here. The first one I went for was Foreboding on his unit, which is a good counter-attack one. I get counter-attack and I can fire Overwatch at full ballistic skill because I am very much anticipating a charge next turn.
You'll get one. You'll get one.
Yes. Also, I've done Precognition on him, which gives him, it's a great power really, it's one of the better ones. He gets to reroll all failed hit and 2 wound rolls, and he can roll his failed saves. I did try and cast Misfortune onto Red Blade's squad there, but unfortunately that one didn't come off for me. So
I think that would have been kicking a dog when it's down anyway, wouldn't it? Jesus.
Well, it's not the worst result, but we'll go there. Turn 3 shooting phase for the Thousand Suns. My Land Raider has moved over. He's going to have a 1 twin link shot at this Rhino. Hopefully pop in that. We've had a look and come to the conclusion that there's no intervening model, so there's no cover save. So this is 1 shot twin link though. So we'll start. That's a hit. It's strength 9, armor 11, so we need 2s to glance. So that's a pen. AP 2.
See what it does.
This is where I need a 6. 4 plus 1, 5, which is weapon destroyed, I believe.
Yeah. 1 to 3, it's the bolter. So it's the twin link bolter that's gone.
The 2 jet bikes now are going to shoot at the Terminator and the Centurion down here. Hopefully, if I can do wounds, because it will double out their toughness. So it's 2 shots. That's 2 hits. Strength 8, toughness 4, so that's 2s to wound. So that's 2. You
So
straight onto your in
2
runs.
5-up saves.
You've got to take these. Yeah.
Yeah, the nearest model is the Terminator squad member. So 5-up saves for the Terminators then, and it's on the squad because he's closest. So 1 at a time. That's he's dead, and then on the Centurion, he's taken as well. It's double toughness, so he's gone as well. That's 2 gone.
The end of the Thousand Suns turn 3. We didn't have any charges, so it just come down to shooting. My Lightning, thankfully, managed to get a Sun Fury missile down onto the squad down in front and fired a las cannon, which picked nearly all of those off, only leaving the Sergeant, which my Sekhmet with the combi bolters with aspect shells managed to kill him off. And my other Sekhmet unit over there and Ahriman fired into Red Blade's squads, killing 1 of the Tartarus Terminators and taking 2 wounds off Red Blade, which is quite nice. So with killing 2 scoring units and taking a couple of wounds off his Warlord, that's quite a good turn. I'm quite happy with that, considering how much of a pasting I got last time. Yeah, that's worked out quite well. His extremely strong combat unit are still quite a distance away, so I'm happy about that as well. I'm glad I'm over that side of the board now.
Space Wolves turn 4 movement phase then. The Rhino that came from outflank with the Grey Slayers on has moved forward up towards that Land Raider. The Land Raider Phobos just across from it has pivoted just to bring weapons to bear on the other Land Raider in front of it. The Spartan has moved 4 inches just to square up a bit more and get some more shots off. Make sure his firing arcs are in. Deathsworn with a difficult terrain move are down and they're ready to move out and let's see if we can get some combat before the end of the game. The Rhino on the far flank has gone flat out up that broad edge towards the enemy deployment zone. We want to get in there and get the scoring unit into the enemy deployment zone. And Val Redblade and his Tartarus Terminator squads have moved around. They're lining up on Araman and his Sekhmet, and we'll see if we can wipe them in a nice decisive round of combat. Would be good there. Space Wolf's turn 4 shooting, starting with a Phobos Land Raider. It's going to fire full bore at the flank of the Land Raider in front of it. So we'll start with the multi-melter at full ballistic skill. So this is a 3 to hit, and it's a miss. Start with it there. We'll move on to the 2 twin link las cannons. 3s to hit, 2 hits, 9 armor 14s with 5s for a glance, 6 for a pen. So come on, 2 pens. Neither.
Add them together.
I wish we could. We can move straight onto the Spartan there then. Same drill. 2 quad las cannons, all at full ballistic skill. 1 with Power of the Machine Spirit. So 3s to hit. Rerolls. That's 4 hits. And we want 5s and 6s again. And that is still nothing. And then we'll move on to the multi-melter on the Rhino. That's in front of the Land Raider. So 3 to hit. It's a hit. 2d6 armor pen. And that's a glance. So that's 1 hull point. I believe that's its last hull point, so it's gone. So concentrating firepower has paid off.
Overwhelmingly. Oh, wait.
2 Grey Slayers in the Rhino are going to fire combi plasmas out the top hatch into the jet bikes in front of them. So they're going to be 4 shots, 3s to hit. 2 overheats. See what they do. Both guys are alright. So that was 1 hit. And it's strength 7, toughness 5. So it's going to be 2s. And that's 1 wound.
I did say I was going to jink before.
Absolutely.
So this is a 4 at jink save. Nope, so that's 1 guy dead.
File Redblade and the Tartarus Terminator squad. Good setup. Good coverage with a Flamer template. Managed to knock a wound off a Sekhmet. And then shooting from the combi bolters. Pip that other wound off. So 1 Sekhmet Terminator fell, which is absolutely outstanding. Really pleased with that. Val's heavy bolter sadly didn't do, despite all the hits, didn't really do any damage. But yeah, fantastic. Let's get ready for some assault. Space Wolves turn 4 assault phase. Val Redblade and his Tartarus Terminators have piled into Araman and his Sekhmet squad. They overwatched at full ballistic skill because of foreboding.
Yeah, that's correct.
Dirty psychic powers. Overwatch was brutal. Val Redblade down to 1 wound, and then Lookout Surd onto Terminator, and fortunately made the save. Don't really want to lose Terminators because they're scoring. Don't really want to lose Val Redblade because he strikes at a high initiative and he's the Warlord. Bit of a conundrum there, but a difficult one to decide how to handle. But they're now in the assault. Val Redblade has issued a challenge, which Araman's turned a blind eye to, and one of his cowardly turned his eye, and one of the Sekhmet Terminators accepted it. I think in Dan's shoes, to be fair, I've done the same thing. I wouldn't want to risk my Warlord.
Yeah, just because of the fact I'm on a lower initiative, I don't particularly want to lose my Warlord before he even gets a chance to swing. So
Yeah, absolutely. So that takes us on to the assault then. Now, Val Redblade's weapon skill 7 on the charge. Sekhmet Terminator is weapon skill 4. So Val Redblade's going to be 3s to hit. So he's 4 attack space, 5 for charging. So. And that is 1 hit, but he has preferred enemy infantry, so he's re-rolling the 1s. That's better. 4 hits, and he is going to be strength 6, toughness 4, so he's going to be 2s to wound, and these are AP 2. So that'll be 4 AP 2 wounds onto those Sekhmet Terminators.
so these will all be invuns. I'll do my sergeant first. There's 2 wounds, so I'll do them 2 at a time. That's fine. 2 more. Oh, he takes 2 wounds, so he does die.
So that's quite a successful challenge for Val Redblade there. 2 of the Tartarus Terminators have got lightning claws. They're 2 attack space, +1 for charging. Because they're charging, they're also +1 weapon skills. They're a nice tasty 3 to hit. And because of the preferred enemy, we can reroll 1s. It's a shame that 2 isn't a 1 in that respect. So that's 5 hits. And then they're going to be 4s to wound. So see what damage we can do. And these have shred, so I can reroll any that don't. So roll them 2. And that's 4 wounds. And now these are only AP 3, sadly. So 1,000 Suns get their saves.
2 ups, come on boys, you'll be fine. Oh, 1 takes a wound.
Pesky 2-wound Terminators, makes them really hard nuts to crack. The remaining 2 Tartarus Terminators got Chain Fists, so they're going to be striking at the same initiative step as Araman and the rest of the Sekhmet. But they are a weapon skill 5 on the charge, and the majority weapon skill of the unit is 4, so they're going to be 3s to hit. So 3s to hit. Preferred enemy, so reroll of a 1. That's 5 hits, which is fantastic. And then they are going to be 2s to kill. And preferred enemy, reroll of the 1. So that is 5 kills, AP 2.
I do get to make invulnerables though.
You do?
I will do these one at a time because then I'm going to get onto Araman. So these are 4 up. Nope, so he's dead. Now I'm onto Araman, so this is going to be a lookout, sir. Try and make, and then I'm going to go for my save. Nope, that's another 1 dead because it's double toughness. Lookout, sir. Yep. Oh, that's another 1 dead, so that's all the guys dead, and I've got 2 to make on Araman. These are 4 ups, but I can re-roll these because of my psychic power.
Oh,
yeah,
he does it!
He saves.
Araman's...
I do get to attack back. Right, my 3 Sekhmet are actually dead, but because it's same initiative, I do get to attack back. With my psychic power, I do get counter attack, which is nice. So they get 3 attacks each. Actually, I've got 2 force axes and then 1 chain fist. So I'm going to do these separately. I'll do the force axes first. It's 4s to hit because he has a higher weapon skill this turn. So that's 3 hits. There's a +1 strength and AP2. So it's 3s. So that's 3 at AP2. So peeks onto his invuln save.
So on the Tartarus Terminators, we've got 3 5-up saves. And only 1 made, so that's 2 of the Terminators died.
Now I'm going to do my chain fist attack. There's a 3 again. 4s again to hit. Oh, there's only 1 hit. That's 2s to push into his invuln again. Oh, no, nothing. I still have Araman to attack though, so we'll do that next. Right, now Araman's turn to strike. He has 3 attacks as standard because I've got 4 Bodin on. I do get counter attack. He's also got precognition on him, which allows me to re-roll all failed to hit, to wound, and failed armor saves. So this is a force act. So he is weapon skill 5, so I am hitting on 4s because we're the same. So 4s with re-rolls. That's 3 hit, 4 hit. Now it's a force axe, which is +1 strength at AP2. So it's 3s, but with re-rolls, which we don't need. So that's 4 AP2 wounds there. Pete.
Cool. So taking these 2 at a time, starting on the squad. First 2, 5 ups. Come on, no problem. 1 down. So I'm going to roll these 1 at a time. 1 more on the squad. Fine. And the last one. Fine. Absolutely outstanding result there, tanking those wounds onto the squad for the Space Wolves. Space Wolves, turn 4 summary. Too much firepower had to be put into that land raider to pop it, but it's gone, which is great. That's another attrition point. Some cheeky fire onto the jet bikes has knocked them down to 1. Death Swarm moving up, nothing great there. Got this Grey Slayer squad in there, Rhino up there getting towards the deployment zone, which is fantastic. And then Vile Redblade in this squad, what a combat. That was absolutely brutal. Really lucky, I think, not to have lost anything against Araman in that last initiative step of that. But we're going to be on to 1,000 Suns turn next. And I think unless some wizardry comes out the bag, Vile Redblade's going to be going first at the highest initiative. We'll have to see how it goes.
1,000 Suns turn 4. We've done our movement, psychic and shooting already. We moved the 2 tack squads into cover there to try and keep those 2 victory points nice and secure. He's quite a way off. The only other thing I really moved, I moved my Sekhmet forward and my jet bike just to the side there. The jet bike went to the side. He jinked last time, so he had a snapshot at the Rhino there, trying to get a lucky 6, but unfortunately missed. In the psychic phase, my Sekhmet managed to get the psychic maelstrom, which is the big blast template, off. That targeted the Spartan there. Thankfully it was just within 12 inches. We did manage to strip a whole point off with glance, but they are going to try and make it into this combat with Araman. We've pre-measured this now. That was 8 inches, but passing through scenery, we are +2, so it's going to be 10. So we're going to roll that now. So lucky 10. No, it's only a 5, so unfortunately they're not going to make it. Right, Thousand Suns assault phase. Thankfully, in the psychic phase, I managed to get precognition off on Araman, which is again the one that he re-rolls all fail to hit, to wound, and armor saving rolls, which is very, very handy because this is the two warlords going up against each other. Unfortunately, I'm down at initiative 1, so Haval does get to go first.
Yeah, at initiative 5. So he's going to be 4 attacks base, and he's a higher weapon skill, so he's going to be 3s to hit. And we preferred enemy rolling 1s, but it's not needed, so that's 4 hits. And then he is going to be 3s to wound. 2s to wound, sorry, because it's +2 strength, so 2s to wound. And again, preferred enemies only 1s, and that's 4 AP2 wounds on Araman.
Right, so that's 4 wounds. I have a 4+ invuln. These are re-rollable because of the precognition. That's 3 saved. Come on. 1 wound taken. We're down to initiative 1 now. We're going to let the Space Wolf Chain Fist go first, just to see.
Okay, so 2 attacks, weapon skill 4, weapon skill 5. So I'm going to be 4s to hit. And reroll 1 for per enemy. No hits.
Well, I've got lucky there, I think.
Lucky escape for Araman.
Right, Araman has 3 attacks as standard. So we're going to be 3s to hit with rerolls, thankfully. That's 2 hit. These are both +1 strength, AP2. So 3s. Yep, that's 2 AP2 attacks.
We had a short little pause there because I was a bit indecisive about how to handle these 2 AP2 wounds. I've got the Tartarus Terminate, which is a scoring unit, which is obviously valuable, but Haval Red Blade is also my Warlord, so actually they're both worth the same amount of victory points, and Haval is a beast, and he's a higher initiative, and if this keeps going, I'd rather keep him in the fight. So I'm going to take the first of these wounds on the Tartarus Terminator, and with a bit of luck, we're going to be okay. So first wound, 5 up for the Tartarus. And he's dead. And then this one's on file. He's got an Iron Halo, so this will be a 4 up. And he's made it, while still in the fight. Space Wolves turn 5, potentially the last turn of the game, because of variable game length. The near Grey Slayer squad in their Rhino have disembarked to make sure they're out and that they're claiming the VP up here, not just left in their vehicle. And put a boatload of shots forward into the jet bike to no damage. They were backed up in their shooting phase by the Land Raider, which also did no damage. Lots of missed shots and good jinx saves. The Spartan put fire forward into the Sekhmet Terminators before the Death Sworn successfully charged. Managed to while away a couple of them to fire from that. And the Grey Slayer squad on the far side have moved up and got out, and they're in the deployment zone. They put some fire forward too, and that's that phase. We've got two scoring units still alive up here, which is good. Sadly, the Thousand Suns have got 2 down the far end, but that really just brings us on to the assault phase with Haval Red Blade and Araman. Space Wolves turn 5 assault phase. Because the Death Sworn are all at initiative 1 with axes or a power fist, and the Priest is initiative 3 with his great Frostblade, the Sekhmet get to go first at initiative 4. Well, yours done.
Right, so they get 2 attacks as standard. I'm a lower weapon skill, so it's 4. So I need 4s to hit the monkey-headed, strange-looking things. Unfortunately, that's just 3 hits. Strength 4 again, so 4s to put them onto AP3, but they're all 2 up armor saves, so that's 2 AP3 saves.
So 2 up armor saves. You roll that, this is cock. Both made. Priest of Fenris with his great Frostblade striking initiative 3 next. Unfortunately, couldn't get him far enough forward or in to be into base contact with multiple models, so he's 3 attacks base, +1 for charging. So that's 4. He is weapon skill 6 on the charge, so he's going to be 3s to hit. He has it's mastercrafted and he has preferred enemy. So reroll for mastercrafted. So that's 4 hits, and then it's a +1 strength, so he's going to be 3s to wound, forcing them onto their 5 up invuns. Preferred enemy allows for the reroll of 1. So no, that's just 2 have gone through. 2 AP2.
Right, my invuln is 5 up. So 1 takes a wound.
4 Death Swarm with Power Axes striking next. +1 weapon skill on the charge. 4 attacks apiece. They are going to be 3s to hit. Rerolling 1s for preferred enemy. So that's all but 1 hit. They are going to be, they're +1 strength for the axes, so they're going to be 3s to wound. Now these are AP2, so it's going to put the Sekhmet onto their invulnerable save again. Preferred enemy, reroll of the 1s. And that is 3, 6, 9, 10. 10 AP2s for the Sekhmet.
Right, I've got 10 saves to make. They're straight onto my invuln, which is 5 up. I've got 5 wounds left there, so we'll do these 5 at a time, just to see. So I'm going to make all 5 of these. Nope, they're dead. And I didn't even have to take the other 5, which I'd have failed another 3 as well. So
yeah, that doesn't double them out, so you needed that. That's them all dead.
yeah, they're all dead. This is one for people that rage around on the internet complaining about Sekhmet when I've never heard Death Sworn mentioned once.
Death Sworn are filthy, I completely agree. Warlords then. Vile Red Blade and Araman. Araman's down to 2 wounds, Vile's down to 1. This is all to play for the Warlord point, really. Araman's got precognition, which is worrying me somewhat. But Vile Red Blade then, 4 attacks, and he's going to be 3s to hit. Rerolling 1 for preferred enemy. That's 1 hit. And he's going to need 2s to wound. That's 1 wound on Araman.
Right, so this is a 4-up save, which he makes nicely.
Absolutely in the bag.
Right, so 3 attacks as standard. These are 4s to hit, but I do get rerolls because precognition. That's 2 hits so far. That's 2. Now, Power Axe, so +1 strength, so 3s to wound with a reroll. So that's 2 wounds at AP2, so 2.
So that's Iron Halo saves for Vile Red Blade. These are 4-ups. So both of these, easy days. Oh, made one, failed the other. Mighty Vile Red Blade has fallen and lost the Warlord.
Thousand Suns turn 5, potentially the last turn. I think I'm getting a bit of a kick in at the moment, so I need to try and wipe some of these scoring units out. My flyer, my Primaris has come back on. My jet bike has scooted over so it can have a shot at this tactical squad of Grey Slayers down here. These are my main priority now. I'm going to try and throw everything I've got at them and see if I can maybe clear them off the board. Araman's moved back because I'm throwing missiles and stuff in there, so I do want him to possibly charge into the unit and try and finish them off. We fired one of the Sun Fury missiles. Oh, sorry, we had the Psychic phase where I did try and cast Precognition on Araman, but unfortunately it didn't come off. So yeah, we're on to the shooting phase now, and we fired one of the missiles, one of the Sun Furies, one of the AP3 ones, into this unit. I got a hit, and because they're so nicely bunched up, I managed to get 9 hits. So we're going to try and wound these. This is Strength 6, AP3, so these will be 2s. Let's have a roll on here. There's 9. That's all but 1, so that's 8 AP3 wounds.
8 Grey Slayers dead.
I also hit the Rhino, so these are Strength 6, so we might do some damage on a 4. Nope, nothing there. The Rhino survives. We've also got a las cannon, which I'm going to shoot now. This is twin linked. Ground track and auguries, so it's 2s to hit, but that's the thing. Then a 2 to kill. Oh, no, unfortunately not. We can also snapshot my jet bike, so this will be a 6 to hit. Lovely. And a 2 to wound. Yep, that jet bike really had his eye in, so that's another one dead.
So there's a 5-up for intervening models between the 2.
Yep.
Come on, nice, easy 5-up save. No, that's another one drop. So those Grey Slayers are whittled right down to 1.
Right, and Araman's going to have a shot with his bolt pistol. This is Master Crafted. So, Ballistic Skill 5, so that's a hit. And that's a wound, so just a normal wound though.
3 up. Made.
Fine. So one guy is still alive. Right, I fired one of my Sun Furies, and that gets hot, so I'm going to make that roll first. This is on a 1, I take a whole point. No, that's fine. I do have a Kraken Penetrator missile left, so I'm going to fire that as well. I know it seems a bit overkill for one Marine, but it needs to be done. That's a hit. It's Strength 8, AP1. So that's
That's a
him
kill.
dead.
All the Grey Slayers gone.
End of turn 5 for me. I managed to get rid of that scoring unit. We've had a little tot up, and we're actually drawing at the moment.
Yeah, that's
Pete's
it.
winning with
attrition and first blood for the Space Wolves, and they've got 1 VP for a scoring unit in the enemy deployment zone, whereas Thousand Suns have got
Warlord and 2. We've got 2 scoring units in the other end, so it's
3 apiece.
It potentially can go to a 6th turn, which I would rather it didn't. I can't. There's no way of me winning this, but I'd be happier with the draw. Whereas
my Death Sworn are, I'm going to guess, about 4 inches away from Dan's Warlord.
And they pretty much will mint him on the charge.
That would be nice. So I do want the 6th turn. So we're gonna have a little bit of a roll on it, because I think it all sits with that Warlord for me now. If we can get a 6th turn and I can pick that Warlord, Dan would have to pull something pretty special. I regret saying this, pretty special out the bag to wipe my other scoring unit off. So yeah, I think a draw's good. I probably should settle for a draw, having been tabled last time. But it needs to be rolled on. I want the 6th turn. So on a 4-up, 1, 2, 3, 6th turn, and it's a draw.
I will take a draw. Yeah,
well done, game.
I'll definitely take a draw. It's been up and down and left and right and
absolutely brutal game. But I guess we'll talk about that over there.
It's done. I am an emotional wreck, it has to be said. You know, I was up so many times, down so many times.
I think that's one thing that you don't appreciate from watching it back on the channel, is how much this guy bounces around and makes noises and gets excited and tries to interfere and then goes, no, I can't say anything. And he's almost as much entertainment as it. You ought to do like a behind the scenes video or something, actually.
It's mental, isn't it? Because when I game as well, it's if people are gaming at Wham World or here at the club, I'm a very emotional person, so I go up and down all over the shop and I get really excitable, and it's just, so for me filming this game, and this one in particular, was just wild.
That was an absolutely brutal game.
There was a lot riding on it, really, I think, because of the past sort of results.
Huge.
Yeah, I didn't really want to be tabled for the 2nd campaign game or third game on the channel. Yeah, a draw.
Yeah, amazing draw. Let's run through those points again. So, Dan, what have you got? The points in total, yeah. What did you get? You got...
Oh, right, okay.
Warlord?
I got Warlord, and I got the 2 scoring units. I had 2 tactical squads still in Pete's deployment zone at the end. So
they came in outflanked, didn't they, and hung back.
They scored 1 victory point each.
So Space Wolves got first blood with, I think it was the Osiron Dreadnought.
Correct.
So that's 1.
That was turn 2 as well, wasn't it? Turn 3.
It took a while.
Yeah, it did, yeah. Normally...
Yeah. And then...
Attrition,
because I killed more.
You killed 11 and I got 9
in the end.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and
scoring unit,
and then 1 scoring unit that came in on outflank. It was worth holding.
Yeah,
Havargiv Scout 3 units, and I used that to push 2 units up the board, which was effective, and that did a good job. But I chose to put a squad of Grey Slayers in their Rhino into reserve, bring in for outflank, and well, to be honest, that. The phrasing's wrong, but that won me the game. That kept me in a draw.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
If they'd have had to slog up the field, they'd have taken more fire and they wouldn't have got there. And I think there was a lot of very brutal turns. I think there was that turn of quite decisive combats and shooting from my part where I cleared up your deployment zone.
Yeah.
But then your segment came in, and then you had a crazy round of shooting with the Flyer and the Vindicator laser destroyer, which just ripped across the battlefield in a little trail of smoke. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was the 3 things died at the same time
in a row. It was just absolutely superb. And then again in your last turn, putting those Sun Fury missiles, when you ate that, how many points is that Flyer? All in today, roughly.
It's roughly 225, I think.
Okay, so it killed 2 Grey Slayer squads. So you easily made your points back. Easily.
I'm not a massive fan of them, to be honest. I do prefer the Raptor just because it has the hover, but it is massively effective, especially playing that lengthways as well. It was a big boon to me with that, because I've got a lot more room to move, and stay on the board is the most important thing, because I've got to go that minimum of 18.
Yeah, and if I'd have had some anti-air, that could have been a very different game in that respect, because that thing ran right. It killed 2 scoring units in your deployment zone.
Yeah.
So in or on. So that's really brutal.
In a lot of games as well, a lot of people target the flies, which forces them to jink. But you didn't really have anything that you didn't even direct fire up at it, but because you needed it on the ground to thin the rest of the other stuff out.
I think if it had gone for a turn 6,
Sicaran would have.
Yeah, Sicaran would have. We wouldn't have got any benefit though.
No.
But because it's
but it
ignores
still jink.
But it's still would have been a target.
It's still been 6s to hit them.
Yeah,
sorry.
true.
Yeah, and with it being agile, it's a 3-up jink save as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think if it had gone to turn 6, I'd have put the Land Raiders, all the quad lascannons on the Spartan and the Land Raider into it, and the twin lascannons.
With a gamble in it.
Yeah, just for that turn, just to get it off the board. I think,
especially with them being twin.
But yeah, I think that was a really brutal game. So much so actually that when it came to picking units, that was a hard decision as well.
So you went with your top man.
Yeah, I went with Far Red Blade and the Tartarus Terror just because what they went through. I mean, they went through an Osiran Dreadnought, which was quite a scary prospect, and they chomped through that. Then you chucked Blade Occult at them, which just bounced on their own charge.
Didn't even kill a single turn.
That was absolutely terrifying. And then they cheekily took out the Laser Destroyer, and then they charged Araman and his segment when they arrived, and which ultimately led to them dying. I appreciate, but
thankfully I had the psychic powers really, which is the only reason I made it through that combat.
There was some discussion about whether the Death Swarm were a more effective unit and maybe the best in that, but they went for a road cannon squad and they got a long way across the board, I guess, and took out some Sekhmet. But these guys, I mean, the Osiran Dreadnought, a wound on Araman, Sekhmet squad. The Laser Destroyer, for me, they're it. And then also what he does for the army, giving that scout preferred enemy to anything in 12 inches, causing fear, because that was what undid. That was what undid Pastoral Others. That was what undid the Blade Occult. For me, he's just a beast. 4 wounds, and he's got a heavy bolter for Pete's sake.
Yeah, he's pretty wild.
Awesome. He's a beast. He's a lovely unit. And you went for Araman.
Yeah,
it was either the Lightning or Araman. Went for Araman in the end just because he left your man of the match in a muddy bloody puddle under his boot. So
we like to say sleeping on red snow, I think.
I think you left him on yellow snow.
Yeah.
It's like something you tell a small child that a rabbit's dying, isn't it? Sleeping on red snow.
I think
Araman did a great job.
He did a fantastic job. Yeah.
Mostly just through surviving, I think, more than
through surviving, and he got you the Warlord Pip. So that gave you the draw. I think
if I didn't have that psychic power, that would have been over.
Yeah,
I think again though, close call between that and the Lightning. But,
the Lightning probably it did kill more points worth, but it as a standout character, him just surviving and dealing with what he had to take on. You making 3 invulnerable saves, which nobody ever expects.
No, I don't make saves, do I? It's just I can't roll dice. I don't know what it is. And I need to find out this little flicky thing you all do that means you get the result you want. I need to learn that. I watch you all turning your hands like this, like casino players. I need to keep an eye on these things. It's not. I don't mean Dan. I mean
another Dan
else.
You need to talk to about that. He told me there's a technique.
Is that right?
Let's hang on a minute. Let's not go down that route.
He told me. I've never managed to master it, unfortunately. I'm getting better.
I think it was interesting to see different sets of units on the board as well. Whilst I've had a Praetor and a Cataphractii squad before, this was like a very different offensive. It was 2 Tartarus squads with characters in Spartans getting forward, which was quite a hammer.
Yeah. I think it definitely did the job for you just to get there, because you struggled getting there in the past, and now you had so many multiple units charging forward. Really great, powerful vehicles that got you into position.
Putting the Grey Slayers for me back into Rhinos is a big thing as well, because I know it, and it works better for me. I play better with that. I'm more used to that style of play.
I'd have shot them to. There was plenty of times that I had nothing to shoot at with things like rotor cannons, and if your units had been out in the open, I would have.
Yeah, infantry armies isn't for me. I know it works for some people, and some people are doing very well with Space Wolves with it, but it's just not for me.
Not for you.
But I think I went well. It was a draw. If it had gone to 10-6, I think I probably could have squeaked a win out of it.
I think then Death Swarm would have taken care of Araman in the end. Especially because I couldn't cast my psychic power. But my list was, I'll be honest, it was quite experimental. I looked in the book and thought, what special unit should I take? All of them. To be honest, I wanted to. I've not played you. Well, we've not had a game since the last.
No, we haven't actually had. We were working this out in the car on the way here. We haven't actually played since we were last here.
Oh,
we've had a game of Shadow War, and we had a little Primarch off, and just a little. But
it wasn't like through like enmity or any bitterness from last time. It was just the way it's fallen.
And so we figured out that it was So it was good to bring loads of stuff that neither of us have faced.
Well, that's it. I mean, the Sakara and the Pred, for me, are both new units within the last week, that's... You've definitely not faced them before.
No, I just finished painting my Blade Occult this week.
Yep.
And I never really take a Land Raider. The Siren I have used a couple of times. I used a stand-in, but still don't massively rate him, but he's got to go in the army really for me.
Does look good. He's very iconic, isn't he?
He's also intimidating. I know you're saying it's perhaps not your favourite loadout, but if he's ignored and then you pull off force and punch him into something multi-wound or something character laden,
character,
it's terrifying. And I also think that Twin Link, was it Volkite Karen? Is it the Cannonade on it? I can't remember what it is.
No,
it's the big one.
It's Twin Link Caliber, isn't it?
No.
Culverin, I think.
Culverin, that's it. Yeah, because Charger, Caliber, Culverin, Cannonade. Yeah, so it's a tangent. It's brutal. I think it does more damage than you give it credit for. I think it's brutal.
So when are we going to organise this next game? When are we going to tell the viewers when the next one's going to be due? Have we got a date?
I think we need to get a date in the diary. I think it'll come down to your schedule a little bit as well.
Quite soon, don't we?
Yeah.
We'll try and get it in for September, because September I am rammed. I'm filming no game September on holiday, loads of stuff going on, tournaments, no retreat, blah, blah, blah.
Before then.
Before it'd be good, if not October.
Yeah.
So, okay.
But, superb.
I'm not planning on adding really any more units. You've got a couple more you need to paint out, don't you?
I've got some Seekers and a Land Raider and a Fire Raptor on the table.
Land Raider?
Yeah.
Another one?
This one's not an assault vehicle.
So what the viewers want to know is, when are we going to see Russ and Magnus? When are we going to do that?
Well, there's been a bit of discussion about this.
Yeah.
We originally planned it to be Game 3, but then it's kind of like, if that's Game 3, is that the climax? And then does that make Game 4 kind of a bit...
Yeah.
I don't know, just a game, and you know, I mean, it's kind of.
We talked about a little sneaky appearance at the end.
Yeah, we might do something.
Maybe turn up at the last turn of the game and see if they can.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe we'll have we'll have a look at the dynamic. Maybe we'll have a pitch battle for of some description out the book for the next game, but then they come in on the last turn of the game or something.
And if I ever said to anybody I would never be deep striking Magnus with a Strength D Nova power, I might have been lying.
Whatever happens, we are going to do something cool in the next game regarding the Primax. The Primax, rather. They probably won't be a part of the whole game, but we'll do something. But Game 4, full bore.
Oh yeah, Game 4 will be. We'll do the Legendary Mission for Primax out of the book, I think.
Fantastic news.
Yeah, superb.
Good stuff.
I think I'll bring a bit more anti-armor.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
A little bit more.
Great stuff. Well, I really hope you guys have enjoyed it. It's been an amazing, emotional day for all three of us today. So we've put a really lot of time and effort into doing this game. Now, of course, if you want to see more photos of this game, please go to the Facebook page. There will be loads of photos. I've taken tons and tons. Now, if you want to follow Pete on Instagram.
Yeah, at Uplander on Instagram. So double P, UPPLANDR. And if you've got any questions about anything, just ask. Not a problem.
And I'm 1K Son, the number one. So.
Excellent. And don't forget, you can follow the channel on Instagram also.
I just thought you were bragging then, the number one.
He is.
1K Son, yeah.
Any closing remarks before we leave?
No, I think we both walked away from this not feeling
that was a great game. It was a hell of a game. It was so tight all the way through. We had to stop, didn't we, and add up, because we had no idea where it was at.
Yeah.
I'd like to turn 6 and to be able to roll saves. I think that's... Yeah, I don't know, but...
I think when you watch this back, you'll see how many saves you actually made, and you'll change your mind.
We will see. It doesn't. At the moment, it doesn't feel like... you're quite probably right, but at the moment, I feel like it was a tough slog on the dice again, but we will see.
I think I'll be getting a text when this is first aired and Pete's watched it back and gone, oh, actually, yeah, I made quite a few.
We'll see.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for coming over for the day.
Thanks again for hosting us. It's facilitating us doing the campaign, and it gives us a motivator and stops us procrastinating, and it's good. Thank you.
Great stuff. And we'll see you guys in the next game. Thanks.
Cheers.
Cheers.